Hazrat Lut lived at the same time as Ibrahim alayhi salam. The Old Testament says that Lut was Ibrahim's nephew and that they traveled some distance together in Ibrahim's long journeys. Lut was sent as a messenger to one of Ibrahim's neighboring communities. The incident of Lut's people occurred around 1800 before century, according to an estimate. The city where Lut resided is referred to as Sodom, being situated at the north of the Red Sea. Archaeological studies reveal that the city is located in the area of the Dead Sea, which stretches along the Israel-Jordan border. Lut is mentioned by name 17 times in the Quran. Lut was sent to the people of Sodom to call them towards Allah. These people indulged in homosexuality. He used to advise them to stop that, but they were refusing to respond. So that he decided to go away of them and worship Allah. Then Allah chose him to be his prophet to those people to order them to obey and worship Allah, the only God. People of Lut, those dwelled in the towns of Sodom in Palestine, belied the messengers when their brother Lut said to them, "Will you not fear Allah and obey Him? Verily, I am a trustworthy messenger to you. So fear Allah, keep your duty to Him, and obey me. No reward do I ask for you for it. My reward is only from the Lord of the Alamin." Go you in unto the males of the Alamin, and leave those whom Allah has created for you to be your wives. Nay, you are a trespassing people. They said, "If you cease not, O Lut, verily, you will be one of those who are driven out." He said, "I am indeed of one of those who disapprove with severe anger and fury your action." Receiving the above answer from his people, Lut asked for the help of Allah. He said, "O my Lord, help thou me against people who do mischief. O my Lord, deliver me and my family from such things as they do." Upon Lut's prayer, Allah sent two angels in the form of man. These angels visited Ibrahim before coming to Lut, giving Ibrahim the good news that his wife would give birth to an infant. They explained the reason of their being sent. The insolent people of Lut were to be destroyed. After leaving Ibrahim's company, the angels who were sent as messengers came to Lut. Not having met the messengers before, Lut first became anxious, but then calmed down after talking to them. Lut said, "You appear to be uncommon folk." They said, "Yes, we have come to you to accomplish that of which they doubt, and we have brought to you that which is inevitably due, and assuredly we tell the truth." They said, "Then travel by night with your households, when a portion of the night yet remains, and do thou bring up the rear. Let no one amongst you look back, but pass on whither you are ordered." And we make known this decree to him, that the last remnants of those sinners should be cut off by the morning. When our messengers came to Lut, he was grieved on their account and felt himself powerless to protect them. He said, "This is a distressful day." Meanwhile, Lut's wife told people that he had very beautiful visitors. They did not hesitate to approach these visitors perversely. They encircled the house. Being afraid for his visitors, Lut addressed his people as follows. Lut said, "These are my guests. Disgrace me not, but fear Allah and shame me not." They said, "Did we not forbid you to speak for all and sundry?" Thinking that he and his visitors subjected to evil treatment, Lut said, "Would that I had power to suppress you, or that I could betake myself to some powerful support." The messenger said, "O Lut, we are messengers from your Lord. by no means shall they reach you. Now travel with your family, while yet a part of the night remains, and let not any of you look back, but your wife will remain behind. To her will happen what happens to the people. Morning is their time appointed. Is not the morning near? Immediately, Prophet Lut responded to Allah and started to go out of the village with his family. And when they were out of the village, Allah Almighty started to send down His torment on the village, also on the wife of Lut, because she used to accept adultery of the people of the village. Jibreel alayhi salam filled the horizon with 700 wings. With the tip of his wing, he scraped up the whole town of the people of Lut, raised them up in the sky, then flipped them upside down, and smashed them back to the earth. Allah's torment was by sending rains of stones on those people, but the wife refused to listen to the order of Allah, as she turned behind to see what happened to the people, so she was injured by those stones and died. Allah says, then we saved him and his family, except his wife. She was of those who remained behind in the torment, and we rained down on them a rain of stones. Then see, what was the end of the mujrims? Obvious sins that have been found. The lake of Lut, where the destruction took place, bears obvious evidence of such a disaster. Havoc, which destroyed the people of Lut, came about in consequences of quite a long crack in the earth, a fault line, along the 190 kilometers distance, making up the bed of the river Shariat. River Shariat makes a fall of 180 meters in total. But this and the fact that the Lake of Lut is 400 meters below sea level are two important pieces of evidence showing that an enormous geological event has taken place here. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were in fact located in the Siddim Valley, which was the region of the furthest and lowest end of the Lake of the Lut, and that there was once big and widely inhabited sites in those regions. The trunks and roots in the shimmering green water are very ancient. The Siddim Valley, where these trees were once in blossom, green foliage covered their twigs and branches, was one of the most beautiful locations in this region. That extraordinarily shallow part of the Dead Sea, from the peninsula Ellison to the southernmost tip, was the valley of Siddim. This shallow part was the outcome of the massive collapse this havoc had caused. This was the place where Sodom and Gomorrah were situated. This is where Lut's people lived. The traces of the Lake of Lut are visible when one takes a rowing boat across the Lake of Lut to the southernmost point. Some distance from the shore and clearly visible under the surface of the water, there are the outlines of the forests which the extraordinarily high salt content of the Dead Sea preserve. This is the lowest point on the earth. In other areas, which are lower than sea level, the depth is at most 100 meters. The salt content of its water is very high, the density of being nearly 30%. Because of this, no living organism such as fish or moss can survive in this lake. This is why the Lake of Lut is called the Dead Sea.